The excitement of the FIFA World Cup is now streaming live on Fox One, the official English streaming platform to catch every unforgettable moment. Fox One brings the action straight to your screen so you never miss a goal. Download Fox One and experience the FIFA World Cup live.
Live from New York, it's a show that is counting down to Spain versus France.
I can't wait.
First hour, first things first.
That was a correct intro. It's not just Kevin Wildes.
I told you I'm not going to do that anymore.
It's the show.
I'm not gonna do
Brew
that
and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm going to
when you include us.
Yes,
we know it's your show, obviously.
Yeah, but you guys are part of it. Today, Mbappe versus Yamal, Dembele versus Oyarzabal, me versus Brew. Can anyone slow down France? Meanwhile, NFL 100, 6-7. Not cool though. Stop doing it, bro. It's the number of spots Lamar fell on the top 100 list.
67? Wow.
He went from
6-7 is not cool anymore?
No, bro.
I was just kind of pretending
totally
under the video that
done.
you were doing
It's
it.
done.
The 6-7?
And actually, you know what? People say it died the first time KW did it.
That's not true.
So they said on the show.
No, it's still
That was, yeah.
Is this right? And finally, All-Star game tonight. Big Papi, who is now calling himself Papi,
I love that.
joins us from Philadelphia to talk Red Sox All-Star and a little bit of Team France. He's on Team France. We are locked in. Me and Big Papi are locked in.
Why is he on Team France? Just
Because he called himself.
That's pretty much.
If he called himself
France.
Yamal, well,
that wouldn't work.
No, of course.
That wouldn't work.
His name doesn't start with an M.
That would not work at all.
No, none of them would work.
Ortiz ball.
Ortiz ball would work.
That would have worked.
Great
I'm
one,
trying to do a
bro.
Yamal thing.
Bro, that
Ortiz
was a
ball,
great
you crushed
ball.
that.
Just
Wow.
that was off the top of the dome.
I know. That's why
freestyle.
I'm so impressed.
Freestyling up in this
That was
one.
great.
Chris Broussard, Kevin Wildes, Nick Wright. We start in Dallas today at 3 on Fox. Spain's defense up against France's unstoppable attack. One note, France's coach said Mbappe is 100% fit. My new word I will be using throughout the whole football season as well. American football, that is.
Really?
Yeah.
No, he
So you're going to be saying fit?
Oh, yeah. Like a lot of times
Quality,
for this
fit,
Lamar story, he wasn't fit.
pitch,
He
all
wasn't
that
fit
stuff.
last year. He wasn't in proper
He
form.
wasn't fit.
He left last game, it was ice in his ankle, everything is fine. Spain has won the last 2 matchups against France.
Yeah.
Can they do it again? Here's Henry and a cowboyed up Zlatan from Dallas. Take a listen.
It's about revenge and being able to beat that team that beat us in the Euro. I know it's different competition, but they stopped us to go to the final. So let's see if we can reverse that this time.
Yeah, Euro 2024, absolutely. That revenge. Latan, for you?
This could be easily the final of the World Cup. Is for me the 2 best teams in the World Cup, and unfortunately we get to see them in the semi-finals. One giant is going to go out, and the other one is going to reach the final. But I think this stadium is going to enjoy a nice game, a big game with superstars, and we're going to for sure enjoy them also. So it's going to be exciting.
Here's the matchup, of course. It's France versus Spain, the inaugural FDF Cup. And I missed yesterday's show, Nick, but there were some developments where maybe this is not true to form anymore, that Brew is starting to talk about Broussard is French. And
He is.
you're starting to hedge a
leaving
little
the door open. That is true, Brew.
No, I didn't write the bylaws. I study them. I know them.
But
because
okay.
my last name is French, Broussard, according to the bylaws, I've got a claim.
So are you
the
100% confident in Spain,
But
or are you starting to waver?
No, I have a real fondness for France. The team, not the country necessarily. I mean, I'm fine with France. I'm just saying, the team. To me, they are like the Showtime Lakers. They are like the Steph Durant Warriors.
Exactly.
Like I just like watching them because of the firepower. I really
just come
I
over.
would love for Mbappe to win the Golden Boot.
Yep.
Which means you theoretically you have to keep playing. So I really like them.
Great.
However, I am sticking with Spain. All right? And seriously, I will not. I have a claim. I will not claim France. I'll just quietly inside be like enjoying it if they go on. But I will not. I won't.
You're out on Spain.
I
dude.
won't walk through the door of Destin. Is that what it is? Destin, not Destiny. Okay, I won't walk through it with you.
Yeah, because you're going to run through it. You're basically we're on Team France. We're
just
both
saying,
on Team France.
As I picked Spain, as I've watched this, I've been like, man, I really like France. And I'm not even talking about how great they are. I'm just like, I like what
they're
they
a great
do.
team. Yeah. Yes,
they
they're
got
fun.
4 attackers, like all that stuff.
Well, your guy has scored 1 goal.
I am picking Spain, and here's why. Now, look, I'm not claiming to be the soccer expert, but I have done my homework.
Yes.
I'm a professional. I study. I listen to the experts. I obviously watch the games. I get to know the game as best I can.
Yeah.
And I have found out, Nick, why Spain seems to have France's number. Now, France attacks with 4 guys, not just the big 3, but also Doué, right? So they're attacking. So their midfield is a little less. They go with the 4-2, right? Spain is incredibly strong in the midfield. Maybe the best team in the midfield in this tournament.
Probably them or Portugal going in what people thought had the
best midfield.
best midfield.
Portugal was a little
Portugal's
disappointed in their midfield this tournament. So Spain is strong there. Thus, that's one reason they have been able to give France trouble. We know they also have a great defense behind the midfield, and yet their front line isn't as good as France's. But it's good, especially with Nico Williams back. Mm-hmm. Looks like, he was back last game. He should be healthy. You got Oyarzabal, and then Lamine Yamal. So I think Spain actually is going to win this game strategically. Because I think they can score. France not going to go crazy on them offensively. But they can score enough. I mean it strategically. So I got Spain. 3-2.
3-2 would be shocking.
Spain.
Oh, I don't think that would be
3-2.
shocking.
I would be shocked if Spain scored 3 goals on this French defense. French defense so far has given up no goals to Morocco, no goals to Paraguay, no goals to Sweden. All those teams are not as good.
Paraguay wasn't even trying to score.
Well, that's part of it because
Spain is going to.
France has outshot their opponents 110-37. I started like, well, how could you make it fair? They had 22 shots against Morocco. That is as many shots as Morocco, Paraguay, Sweden, and Senegal took 23 combined against France. Teams just aren't getting the ball enough or even trying to really go. Obviously, 16 goals this tournament. Quietly, this is how good France is. Quietly, Olise is 1 assist away from tying Pele for most assists in World Cup, one World Cup tournament.
He's got, 6?
He's got, I think he's got 5 right now. The record is 6. Spain's defense only allowed 1. France's is allowed 2. 1 was the kind of the fall asleep goal to Norway. 1 was super late in the game to Senegal.
Spain dominates possession, though.
So that is the
number 1 in the tournament.
So I was talking to Josh about this, and it's a question of, and maybe we'll ask Dax when he's here. A lot of the analysis around how to beat France is similar to things that we hear about prime Chiefs. Keep the ball. If we just keep the ball, they can't get it. Now Spain is built to do it. They had possession, I think, 69% of their 69% of their games. So maybe that will work, but I think it could lead to a little bit too conservative a game plan and different than what we saw in the Euros.
Okay. So I think you are too confident, KW.
In France? I don't think I'm confident enough.
Okay, so now listen. While I get tarred with this pick flipping allegation, it's simply not true. If I pick a team that is literally eliminated, I have no choice but to then change. I'm with you.
That's fair. Your picks all get eliminated.
Eliminated a lot. That is true.
But then you have to make it work.
The allegations that I've made bad picks, fair. The allegations that I'm willy-nilly flip-flopping, unfair. Just to be clear. And before the tournament, I picked a France-Argentina final. It's still what I think we're going to get. But I look at this game, Vegas looks at this game as a 60-40 France. That's what the betting line is. I look at this game as a 51-49 France. I think it is a true coin flip game. And So I want to do what I thought Brew was going to do, which is vehemently make the case for Spain as to why they can win.
He's halfway on France.
So the first one.
No, you were part of it.
No, I think
we got
to
review some tape of when you really believe in something. That's not what it sounds like.
So first one is, you're talking about how good the French defense is. That's nice. It is not as good as the Spain defense. No. And the Spain defense has been the best in the tournament by any possible metric. And any way you slice it, they've been the best. The only reason they're not by themselves in goals allowed is because we're including every team that made the tournament. So a team that played 3 games only allowed 1 goal. They're out of there. And so, or else they'd be first by themselves and everything. Then there is this. When you were just stunned by Brew's prediction of 3-2 Spain. They played recently. It was 5-4, and the reason, the most important piece of that is the bottom line. In that 5-4 win, they led 4-0. It wasn't Argentina, Cape Verde, where it was 1-1, 2-2.
Yes, I knew that.
You know, not talking like that.
In like 67th minute, there was like 4-1.
Right, and so it was 5-1 in the 67th minute. It was 4-0, and then it was 5-1, and so. I think that, and then there is also this thing that I think is one of the reasons I have said, whilst France obviously can win the World Cup, and they might be the most talented team, I have thought they have been a little overvalued by Vegas and by you. They don't lose often. Oddly, though, the teams they lose to are 2 of the 3 teams left. In the last, 4+ years, essentially, at major tournaments, they have 0 wins, 1 draw that they lost in penalty kicks to Argentina, and 2 losses to Spain. And then against everyone else, 19 wins, 4 draws, and 3 total losses. So I do believe that when they meet a team that is at least around their talent level, they are beatable. That they are a team similar to what I would say maybe the 2018 Steph KD Warriors, not the 2017, where
Houston almost beat them.
Exactly. Where I was going to say, where for 90% of the games they play, they don't even have to play well to win. But if you are around their talent level, you can give them trouble. And so I think I have a different score prediction than Brew. I think we get extra time. I think that this game is tied after 90, that by definitionally. I think it's more like the other game Spain beat France in, where it's relatively low scoring, and that we have a 2-2 game going into extra time that France wins 3-2. And so I'm sticking with France. I do think they're the best team, and part of that is, I just think the prophecy of the Legos of it ended up being a Messi Mbappe final feels right. But I am surprised because you have been relatively high lead up to the World Cup on Yamal, on Spain.
I think,
and I think that the one point Brew didn't make that he's been making is what extra gear can Spain get to if Yamal has a superstar game, which we know he has in him.
Well, I'm still waiting for it. Yamal is coming back from a hamstring. He's got all these great. Well, he leads the whole tournament in one-on-ones, but he only has 1 goal. So, is he 100% fit? I don't know. The fact that everyone else is like piling up goals and he's not, I think is a little strange. He also said like no one wants to play us straight up. That like they're trying to neutralize him. So maybe he's due for a big game.
I think France will play. I think it's going to be kind of an open game because France obviously
they want to play that way.
And so I think it's going to be more opportunities for Yamal.
My counter to the fact that Spain has beaten France the last 2 times: 1, hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. I think it's just tactically, not just like random luck. 2, I think that France is playing so well right now. And Spain is playing pretty good. They finally gave up a goal their last game. But we can say, you know what? Oh, that first game against Cape Verde, they're getting better. They're a totally different team than they were 3 weeks ago. I think I'm allowed to say like France is a different team than they were a year plus ago.
That's fine, but I disagree with you that France is I thought France did not play well against Paraguay. not being able to solve that. I'm just telling you.
They're playing football.
They just sat back in the low block.
No, I'm just telling
Morocco
you. Like
was what, 2-0?
It was 2-0. I thought they played great. I thought they played great against Morocco.
But they didn't just
I don't think we can say France is, I think the only team right now that can argue they are peaking is England. I think England has just gotten better each step of the tournament.
Not according to their coach, but
I understand. But that's how I feel about it. But go ahead.
I think it's still France. The Paraguay game, we're going to be grabbed, shoved, kicked.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
Again, I'm not.
I think it's a good win to get like a dirty win. But
Spain's not. It does show though that good defenses
can
can
get
at
frustrated.
least nullify them from.
Yeah, if you want to grab him,
4 or 5
if you grab somebody's kit the whole game, all right, with a win. This would be the third World Cup final for Mbappe.
Spain wins this.
He's either assisted or scored in every game this tournament, 20 goals in his World Cup career. Nick, what would a third World Cup mean for Mbappe?
Listen, he would certainly have the argument that he is already the greatest World Cup performer ever. And it's so unique. So just very quick history. 19 years old, his first ever knockout round game, he scores 2 goals against Argentina and Messi to knock them out of the tournament. What people thought was going to be Messi's final World Cup game. They then go on to win the World Cup. He scores in that final. 23 years old at the next World Cup. Obviously has a hat trick in the final, wins the Golden Boot. They don't actually win the World Cup. And this year, he's the odds-on favorite for the Golden Boot again. And he has scored in every game but one. In the one game he didn't score, he had 2 assists. And what is so unique, KW, about him in the World Cup is while Mbappe, even though he's never won the Ballon d'Or and never even finished in the top 2, there have been various times over the last decade where people have thought he's the best player in the world. But he's never been great in the Euros. He's played in 9 games in the Euros, was the second biggest tournament, scored 1 total goal. He's never won a Champions League, even though he was on PSG. Their whole reason for existing was winning the Champions League. The moment he leaves, they win back-to-back Champions Leagues. He goes to Real Madrid, who has won Champions League previously, obviously, hasn't won there and hasn't won La Liga there, which is surprising given all their talent. Mm-hmm. He is an objectively all-time great player who in the biggest moments of his, the biggest trophies you can win, hasn't done it, except for he's been great individually, except for the biggest trophy you can win, where he might already have the greatest career ever. And so it's such a, to not have played great in Euros, to only have 1 Nations League, to have no Champions League, given how he's played in the teams he's been on, and yet to have 20 goals in 21 games in World Cup history, and to maybe leave this tournament the all-time World Cup leader in goals, as a multi-time champion, maybe a 3-time finalist, any of those things, it's so unique.
So I feel like you're doing a good job of making both arguments at the same time.
Go ahead.
Of how he could be the World Cup GOAT, but when you outline maybe the fact that he hasn't won Champions League, hasn't won La Liga with Real, it looks at that opens the door up to you're a superstar on a superstar team with France.
Oh, no, because he's on superstar teams in these other places. It's actually a different argument. It's the argument of the difference between being the greatest, having the greatest career of all time, which he objectively right now does not have an argument for, and being the greatest player of all time in the biggest tournaments. In the biggest tournament. The biggest in the World Cup, where he is arguably doing that.
I think, I would not frown on him getting to the final and losing, but he has to get there and win it. I'm not, you've been in 3.
You mean to be the greatest World Cup performer ever?
Yeah, we talked about it last week. He does have that argument. If he wins the World Cup, so he will have 2 World Cups championships in 3 tries. Pele's the only one with 3, but he's got more goals than Pele and a better ratio as far as Pele's 12 goals in 14 games. Is he 20 and 20, I believe?
Yes.
Oh, okay, 20 and
20 goals in 20 games. So if he does that and then wins, I think he's got a great. Then you're talking about him versus Pele, and he's only 27. it'll be like the chase for Pele is on.
And by the way,
he matched
Pele, one
with
of Pele's World Cup titles, he was
injured.
A team intentionally injured him in the group stage, and he missed all of the knockout stage, and they won the championship.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's like, it's not an asterisk, but it's just.
But people
he
give
has
him
3
but
championships,
yeah.
but he only played in 2 of them.
So I think this though. I think if Mbappe gets the golden boot and maybe even the golden ball. Only 3 players have ever won both, not even in the same year, just both total. So he will have done that. He would become the only player to win 2 golden boots ever. I think that would be, for his personal legacy, that would be better than if he got to the final and lost. Because to your point, and I don't think this is true, but I think people might say it, or some people, if he loses in the World Cup again, the championship, he'll be 1-2 in the World Cup. You brought up all the great club teams he's on and hasn't won. And then I know he won it when he was 19. He played great, but he was young. He wasn't like the leader of that team necessarily.
But last year, the hat trick in the final, I think.
No, I don't think it's a fair criticism, but I do think people will be like, well, why isn't he winning more? Mm-hmm. He doesn't play poorly in the big moments.
No.
He plays great, but hasn't won.
The best player in the world. Go ahead.
All right, zoom out. Winner of today's game takes on the winner of England-Spain tomorrow at 3 on Fox.
England-Argentina.
My goodness gracious, I jumped over it. I had
you might have
Spain on the brain.
You talking about the consolation?
Defending champs Argentina are actually the largest underdogs in the tournament. Yes, they've needed some late game heroics, but are you surprised they're such large underdogs?
Yeah, I'm stunned. And I was listening to you wax poetic about this unbelievable French attack.
Yeah.
It's just this goal-scoring machine.
Yeah.
And I was just listening to it, and I was like, man, imagine what a team must have to be to score more than that team. And that's Argentina. Argentina, not France, leads this tournament in goals. Argentina's second in goal difference. Argentina's the only team this tournament to have scored multiple goals in every game they've played. They didn't have the Paraguay, they held us and clinched us game. And so they have that going for them. They also have something that historically, you like a lot, KW, which is they simply never lose when it matters most. This decade, in knockout tournaments, 2 Copas, 2 World Cups, LeVar Ball never lost. They have won the Copa both times. They won the last World Cup, and they right now, in my opinion, are they're the underdog against England. I think that is flatly wrong. I think they will be justifiably the underdog against the winner of France-Spain, but I think there is some psychological edge they would have in either of those matchups. And then there is these graphics, which you guys might hate, but I absolutely love. The 4 teams left: goals, assists, chances created, dribbles, crosses. Man, France has a bunch of awesome players. Look at all those guys. And on there is not even Doué, who's one of the best players in the world. So that's how France's contributions across the board.
Yep.
Spain, what's it look like? Same categories. Wow. You know what I mean? 4 guys tied at 9. We're talking about all these. Look, it's a real team effort. England, how are we doing here? We know in goals you've got Kane and Bellingham, Saka and Gordon. There's 7 names on that list, 6 names on that list. What's Argentina's look like? The GOAT. I like that. I like the fact that you have the great. You don't like that. You don't like that you have the. It's Messi leads them in everything.
That Messi does it all.
Oh, them.
Yeah. No, that's each team. That's each team. I like that Argentina went into this tournament saying, yeah, we're not going to be equal opportunity. Now, it hasn't hurt them as far as goal scoring because they lead the tournament in goals. It hasn't hurt their offense at all. And I just think Leo Messi, who somehow is still the best player in the tournament, is going to continue
flirting with disaster consistently. Don't you think wow, we don't have a real balanced attack and we have to pull a rabbit out of our hat consistently?
Other than France, who is the team that hasn't flirted with disaster? Every team's either lost or flirted with disaster.
I don't think Spain's really. Spain has flirted with draws. But I don't think Spain's flirted with disaster.
Well, okay, I mean, there's only. So then Argentina's also flirted with draws. The only time they flirted with disaster was Egypt. England obviously was trailing DR Congo late. The Spain, maybe I was mistaken. I thought Spain. Was it Spain?
They drew with Cape Verde. That was.
No, there was maybe there's a game that's I'm not thinking of that just went to extra time with Spain. But regardless, or maybe I'm thinking of the Portugal-Spain game that they scored in the final moment off the set piece in the 94th minute. That's the game I guess that I'm thinking of. So yeah, I mean I don't think Argentina's worse than England. I don't think they've played worse than England, and I think that they have this weird, funny ability to never lose. This decade.
I think the thing, too, though, is that people know how difficult it is to win back-to-back. In the modern day, now it happened in the 30s with Italy, but outside of that, it was just Brazil in 58 and 62. If you want to say that's modern day, that's the last time a team went back-to-back. So I think that's part of the odds, too, is how difficult it is to win consecutive World Cups.
But it's just as rare. 2 teams ever have gone to 3 straight finals. 2 teams ever have won back-to-back. So it's just as rare to go to 3 straight finals. Nobody thinks that's going to be hard for France.
France has looked, but you don't think France has looked better than Argentina?
Again, I think that it is. I think France has been better defensively than Argentina. But if I sit here and say Argentina's been the best offense in this tournament, people will be like, that's crazy. But they literally have been.
Well, they've
been the most
also
consistent.
had to score more because they've been in these games where the opponent scored a lot.
No, that's true. But France also, France scored 4 against Norway's backups. Against Morocco, scored 2 goals. Against Paraguay, scored 1 goal. France having this and it was on a penalty kick, overwhelming dominant attack. They have not been as potent to me offensively as Argentina in the knockout round.
Lamar's shocking fall, and we're counting down to France-Spain from Dallas. France unbeaten in 32 straight World Cup games when scoring first. 30 wins, 2 draws. That's in 4 hours and 33 minutes. Huge day of sports on Fox. France-Spain at 3. Then the All-Star game at 8 from Philadelphia. Bryce Harper's 9th All-Star appearance. We've got David Ortiz coming up in the next hour to discuss. We're head to the gridiron right now. NFL Top 100. 2 years ago, Brew, Lamar was ranked 2nd. Last year, also ranked 2nd. This year, 69th. 67 spot drop. Article says it was a trying season for the 2-time MVP. Missed 3 games early due to hamstring. Another contest late with a back contusion, and in between, didn't move much like himself. Number 69. Is this fair?
Wilds, this is Christmas in July. This is a bonus check out of the blue.
What?
A day off when you least expect it. Because yes, this will absolutely motivate Lamar Jackson. I love this. I love this.
Great.
Thank you, NFL scouts.
These are players. This is
the other one I'm thinking.
Opponents and teammates.
The other one I'm thinking. Thank you, NFL players. Because you have just motivated one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen. And here's the evidence, Nick. The 2 previous times he's been ranked low.
Oh, look at this.
2019, now he's coming off his rookie season. He's unranked. All he does is win MVP. 2023, he has an MVP in his pocket already and he's ranked 72 going into the season. All he does is win MVP. 2026, ranked 69th, new OC, new head coach.
I like it.
He loves the offense. He's of course what he's been talking about. He's talking about how much he loves it, how it's going to be easier for him. And this, now you motivated him. Oh yeah, it's going to be great. And in fairness, in 2019, obviously coming off his rookie year, you get that. 2023. He had been injured, only played 12 games in the 2022 season. Similar to last season, he played 13, was banged up. So I get if the players are looking at, last year he was banged up. Started out hot, But when he got back, he was okay. He wasn't typical Lamar. So I get if they want to rank him that low. I'm just saying this is motivation for him.
Excellent. It does seem a little rude. I mean, Brew.
But again, it happened in 2023.
But then
he was moving.
But he didn't have that body of work yet.
We did have an MVP, though.
No, correct. He had when it happened before, he had one unbelievable season, back-to-back years where he was injured at the end of the year.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so his star had dimmed a bit. I think more understandably, as opposed to coming into this year. In the last 3 years, he has back-to-back first-team All-Pros, then a down year, and then
I'm surprised it's that low.
The floor falls out, and I think it'll be more surprising. We're going to get to it in a bit when we see some of the next few names that come out on this list. But what it does say to me is, and again, I don't know how seriously guys take this list, but historically, Lamar's done really well on this list. You know what I mean? He has finished the previous 2 years. He was ahead of Patrick. He was, I think, the top quarterback each of the previous 2 years. At least some folks share some of the concerns I have about last season. That it was potentially, I'm not even saying this is where I'm planting my flag, but I am more open to the possibility than I think Brew and Wilds are, that last year was, when we look at Lamar's career graph, last year is going to be this mark on this trajectory. That it was...
running or passing or both?
Availability, running, effectiveness.
Well, the availability, I'm not concerned. If he plays, I think he's going to play great. But the availability is, I'm not even concerned about it, but I do see that potentially being an issue.
Here's his numbers last year, and where categories where it was either the worst or the second worst year of his career. We're not including his rookie year, obviously. You know what I mean? So record, completion percentage, that total yards per game again. So
that's just the rush, mainly.
He averaged 190 yards passing, bro. 195. That was very low for him. Even by his standards, 195 is low. And then there is, I think, not the hidden data, but the fact that Lamar took so many awful sacks last year that he essentially was a net zero on on plays where he didn't throw the ball. Meaning the sacks erased whatever good he did running. He took 36 sacks. He only got 24 first downs running. He lost 240 yards on sacks. He gained 350 yards, running. He only had 2 rushing touchdowns. He had more fumbles running than he had rushing touchdowns. That, to me, is a huge concern.
But don't you think that was related to his injury? Because they were all lower extremity injuries. Like when he came, he doesn't run as much. But in the beginning of the year, they weren't winning, but he was playing lights out.
He had an unbelievable touchdown interception ratio early in the year. Like at 15-4, or maybe it was 15-1. Whatever it was crazy. I just, like KW, what do you're not as big a percentages guy as me, but I think there is a 25% chance that MVP level Lamar Jackson is a player that does not exist anymore.
Wow.
I'm shocked by that.
Yeah, I don't.
So what percent? That's not a big.
I just think
that means 75% chance. Just to be clear, that means I think there's a 75% chance MVP level Lamar is still there. You think 25% is a crazy big number? So you think
it's hard for me to wrap my head around it.
Now, why do you think that? You think the injuries are just taking a toll on him, or what is it?
You and I disagree on how to read his passing career numbers. I do not believe that we had this argument like 2 years ago when somebody said, if you take running out of the game, he's one of I think John Harbaugh said it, he might be the greatest quarterback of all time.
And he's talking about his passer rating, which I think
his passer rating might be the highest in league history. It's certainly top 3. It's him, Rodgers, Mahomes.
Right. They're higher than Mahomes.
And
Rodgers.
So where you and I disagree is if running was not allowed by a quarterback and every defense played you as if you have to pass the ball, I don't think Lamar's great. I think he's good. I don't think he's great. That's where I think there is a real knock-on effect if defenses stop being afraid of him running. And I think that his passing numbers, which look unbelievable, will take a hit significantly if he is not the threat he has been historically with his legs. That is, to me, a real concern.
Yeah, last year, beginning of the year, before he got hurt, he wasn't running either, but his numbers were great. And he's never had a great receiver, right? So you got to give him that. He's never had any spectacular wide receiver.
Yes.
And so I think that you got to look at that as well. So he doesn't have one this year either, but if he gets a great receiver, I still think I think he's become a great passer.
Do you think, this is why I still think it's mostly injuries. He ran for less yards per game.
Yeah.
Than Josh? Sure. Than Justin Herbert?
Yeah, same as Drake May.
Same as Drake, who he doesn't really doesn't do a ton of design runs.
Yeah.
Less than Patrick Mahomes, who is running out of necessity. Less than Mariota. Way less than Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
It just seems like he's going to pop back up to Josh Allen level.
I don't know. I don't think he'll run like that. I agree. I don't think he'll run like he did in the past. But I think he'll be much better than he was last year as far as
I feel like
you think he'll get back to like
I just feel like eye test he doesn't he's not escaping things.
We saw this trend.
No, I think he'll be better with that. I just don't think he'll run like a Josh Allen or like he did earlier in his
career.
career.
And the canary in the coal mine on this was the AFC, how he played in that AFC Championship game. I'm not even talking about his playoff struggles. I'm talking about against the Chiefs when he had those opportunities to run.
Oh, right.
And that was the beginning of us being like, man,
But that was like a mental. More. It looked like a mental decision, and I think that's been part of it. He hasn't wanted to.
No, but I mean, he wasn't hurt then in the AFC Championship.
But don't you think
he wasn't hurt the following year when he ran less? And he wasn't hurt at the beginning of the year, Brew, when he wasn't when he was putting up those great numbers, he was still not running.
Right.
And he was one of the things that I think gets lost in his passer rating numbers is sacks don't count against you. Even in that early winning streak, there were some. Last year took sacks worse than he has taken since his first year in the league, where it's just like, but he can't get away or doesn't seem to want to get away or seems indecision, and those really hurt Baltimore. And so those are my concerns.
Part of that blame pie I will put on new OC as well. New OC coming in this year.
Well, I'm sure. He's under.
That the offense was broken. We're cleaning.
Well, it's a big bet.
He's under Ben Johnson. We know Declan Doyle came, so he's going to try to get rid of those bad.
But it's just that you guys also seem to have far more confidence than I do that this first-time head coach and this first-time OC are going to fall into the bucket of 35% that work. Most first-time head coaches don't work. Most first-time OCs don't work. It's certainly not more than 50%. And so you guys are like, nope, this is going to work. We have no idea.
Is like, when do first-time OCs and first-time head coaches go to franchise quarterbacks versus like, good news, you're coaching the Saints again?
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
All right, here's the QBs revealed on the NFL Top 100 so far. Bryce was at 98, Purdy was at 85, Bake Show was at 77, Jordan Love, all your guys, bro. You're really a 60s and up guy. I'm more in the top 10. Jordan Love 72 and Lamar
I'm shocked.
At 69.
Congratulations, Bryce. I'm a little bit baffled. I know he played better last year and good for him.
It'll be interesting to see who's on the outside looking in at 100. Who do you think is going to be next, Brew, and who should be
and
next?
Keep it. Last year, 16 quarterbacks made it. So if around the same,
11?
so 10 or 11 more coming would be my guess, 10, 11, 12. It also means that Lamar is not going to probably be a top 10 quarterback on this list, but go ahead.
I've got 3 possibilities in my mind. Justin Herbert.
No chance he's next. He's going to be way higher.
Sam Darnold. And your boy Trevor Lawrence.
I think
one of those.
You said 3 possibilities. I think I have 2 possibilities. You said neither, and because I think it's going to one of the 2 possibilities will enrage you, and maybe enrage too strong, And the other one will annoy Wilds that this guy's this low. I think the next quarterback we are going to hear is either going to be Jalen Hurts or Bo Nix.
I agree.
I think that, Trevor's coming off an excellent year. Darnold's coming off a great year. So I think even if, it's kind of ridiculous to be like, I think, to have Sam Darnold ahead of Lamar or even to my guy Trevor ahead of
those
Lamar.
five guys we named.
I think that you agree that it's going to be either Hurts or Nix.
I feel like this list doesn't necessarily prioritize winning, and that both Bo Nix and Sam Darnold will be not penalized, but the winning will be like, yeah, they won, but.
For Nix to be for a lot of these guys that will apparently be ahead of Lamar, I think is ridiculous. For Bo Nix to be ahead of Lamar, Baker had a bad year.
AFC Championship game.
Still.
He actually wasn't.
He was in the building.
You're lucky he wasn't. But I also
Jalen
that's tricky
unless
about
he's
this
falling
list,
out of the top 100.
No, it's tricky about this list. Do they vote before the playoffs?
Don't they vote in December?
So, is Darnold going to get any of the Super Bowl bump? I don't think so.
Voting? We're not talking about.
Oh, if they vote in I thought they voted in December.
Right, which would be
so
before the playoffs.
if they do that, then Darnold might.
No, but Darnold had an awesome
it's
year.
Mid-July. What have we been doing?
I'm just telling
How
you.
long does it take to compile this
It's
list?
ridiculous. They should vote after the Super Bowl.
I don't think we want to dig in too much on the on how the list is compiled. Yeah,
and
we didn't take into account the Super
KW,
Bowl.
You said you're when you were taking a shot at Brew. I know we have to go. You said you're a top 10 quarterback guy.
Yeah,
like the guys in the top.
No, top 10. Yeah, top
10 in the list.
My guys, Drake and Mahomes.
Drake is not going to be in the top 10, and Mahomes.
You don't think Drake May will be in the top 10 NFL 100?
No,
probably not. We
got
Miles Garrett in this. Miles Garrett, Stafford, Josh Allen, JSN.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Probably
gonna be
Drake.
there.
Top 5. I'm trying to think of any other player that's pretty good.
We gotta go.
Probably Drake.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Christian Gonzalez, you're thinking will take a spot?
He's probably already been on the list. If he
Justin
hasn't,
Jefferson.
his name's not coming.
He had 2 touchdowns last year. Maybe he should be above Drake. Was in the Super Bowl. France, Spain on Fox, 4 hours, 14 minutes, 30 seconds live from Dallas. Yamal's got 1 goal. He says that, France should be afraid of Spain, not vice versa.
Yeah. Them not counting
You've
the
been
playoffs
taking shots at
might
Yamal.
actually be good for Drake.
Then he should be number 1. There's no argument he shouldn't be number 1. He's number 1 in everything. Yamal just turned 19 yesterday. Happy birthday, Lamine Yamal. Has only 1 goal this entire World Cup, but does lead the tournament in successful one-on-ones. Lead up to the game, he talked about pressure. Saying, I don't feel pressure. You say I'm not at my best, so you shouldn't expect anything from me. But I'm confident that tomorrow, which is today, will go well. I'm not worried about goals, but it's always special to score in games like this. Dax, welcome back to the show. What are your expectations for Yamal today?
I expect him to be a difference maker in this game. And it's not necessarily the goals and assist numbers that I think we've come to expect from him in this tournament. Nick made a great point a few days ago about how with Barcelona, he's not like a high volume goal scorer like some of these other strikers and other players that we have seen, these superstars step up. But one thing Lamine Yamal does do, he forces opponents to adjust to his quality on the ball. Dribbling, taking on opponents. He leads the World Cup in successful dribbles, successful take-ons. And one thing against Belgium that you really notice that I think France is going to also have to make sure that they take heed on is that when he gets on the ball in these wide areas, Jeremy Doku for Belgium was their best attacking player. He was constantly forced to drop deeper and deeper to help out the fullback De Kuyper, because if you leave Lamine Yamal 1v1, more times than not, he is going to be able to fashion a chance or get by an opponent. It's those second and third defenders that teams have to throw at him, to where then it comes down to Yamal's decision-making in the final third, which I think he can improve. He can improve on his decision-making in the final third in this World Cup, when to release a pass, when to find an open teammate, or when to take on the moment himself. Desiree Doué is a player similar to Doku in that he will do the work, he'll track back defensively. The difference, though, is that France, in transition, still have 2 or 3 players in Mbappe, Dembele, Olise, that can really hurt Spain going the other way. Belgium, with De Ketelaere and Kevin De Bruyne and Trossard, they're not really extremely athletic, fast players that are going to be able to hurt you in transition. That's the big difference in this game. So look, Lamine Yamal, decision-making in the final third, he's still going to have a big effect on the game, even if it doesn't manifest itself in the goals and assists.
Feels like to me, Brew, he leads the tournament in, almost.
Correct.
And that hasn't really.
Yeah, but the question is,
right? That's translated.
Almost.
No, but the question.
The take on
sick.
is
Hold on, but the question,
got
KW, is: do you think that means, like, he can't? That is just who he is guaranteed to be today? Because I agree with if someone's like, hey, top 100 performances, player by player in this World Cup.
Yep.
He would not, I think, fairly be in the top 20 guys.
No.
I don't think he's, you know what I mean, of the across the board, all the positions. So I agree with you on that. But the question is, does that mean he can't, for 2 hours this afternoon, be the best player on the field? Because I think he can be. I'm not predicting it because I didn't pick Spain to win. But if I think these teams are close enough, Brew, that if he has a superstar game, if he plays up to his billing pre-tournament, that's enough for Spain to beat him. I do feel that way.
I hope we get to see the best out of him, even though I'm rooting for France.
Don't.
No, but
see the best
but just
out of
for
him,
the
boys
as
are
a
going
fan
down.
of sport more than a fan of France, I don't want to see someone who's supposed to take the Barcelona torch from Messi have a moderately mediocre World Cup.
I think he's been pretty good. He hasn't been. I mean, obviously the bar is incredibly high. So but I think he's been pretty good. I think this will be his best game.
Yeah.
I think because Spain is so aggressive, it's going to be an open game and he's going to have more opportunities. He scored 3 goals against Spain or France in their last 2 games.
Sure.
So he scores against them. I think having Nico Williams on the field, assuming he's going to be able to play significant time, I think that'll open things up. So now they don't have the front line, obviously, of France, but with, Williams, Oyarzabal, and Yamin, like you can see they're doubling Yamal every time. And so I think that'll open up a little bit. And he has been talking. He said they should fear us. It's the most important game of his career. I kind of like his attitude where he seems to be mentally. So I do think he's going to come out and at least get a goal, and I think it'll be his best game of the.
And I love this goal that he scored against France here in the Nations League because he wasn't just standing out wide waiting for the ball and then allowing France to send numerous players at him. He needs to vary up the different positions where he picks the ball up because.
Why hasn't he been doing that, do you think?
Because Spain has a really structured approach in terms of their wingers. They want their wingers to stay really high and wide, being supported by their fullbacks. The fullbacks overlap around them, so then they get to choose, especially Yamal, if he's going to cut inside. One thing that teams have done really well against him, they're forcing him down the line. They're forcing him to go to his right foot where he is less effective. But when he picks the ball up in these types of positions where he's in between defenders, that means he can go directly towards goal a little bit quicker, and he only has to take on one player. If he's stationed out wide, you have the fullback, then you have potentially the help from the opposing winger, then you have potentially help from the opposing central midfielder. So it's just on Yamal and on Spain to help him pick up different positions in the attack. If he's effective out wide, great. But if not, come inside, try to float around the game a little bit more, because to your point, Brew, which is spot on, this is going to be a more open game. France is not just going to sit 10 guys behind the ball. They will attack. There will be more opportunities for Yamal today.
Nice. More on that game at the top of the hour. Mbappe, does he have an opportunity to become the World Cup GOAT? 20 World Cup goals in 20. Oh, he's saying no. Shoot. Didn't work. Sorry, Mbappe. You got to believe in yourself. He'll try to add to it when France takes on Spain in Dallas, 4 hours and 15 seconds. Live from New York. It's the show that's starting to get a little French fever. All of us.
No.
Most of us. Most of us is true.
I am.
Me and Dax are there, and Brew gave the least enthusiastic support for Spain we've ever had on the show.
I broke down the midfield dominance, the great
after
defense.
the show,
I thought there was plenty of
Yamal
enthusiasm,
emerging.
Brew.
Yes.
We are going to, after we all have to stay
just
late
like
and
both
watch
teams.
the tape of you talking about Lamar in the following segment on a made-up list. You are rocking with France. It's fine. We've got several French.
I got Spain.
We've got.
But I
more
do like
passion with
France.
Lamar.
Can I tell you what's happening?
Yes.
Brew is picking Spain.
Yes.
In his heart, he, I think, will be rooting for France.
Yes.
It's a win-win for him.
I am
It's a
picking
win-win.
France.
That's it.
And openly and
rooting
in
for
my
Spain?
heart, I am rooting for Spain. Because Deanna asks me all the time why I'm rooting in a certain game.
Yeah.
And her go-to guess has been, is it because Kevin wants the other team?
You guys allow me to pick the best
That
team,
is
one of the best
Well, you
World Cup
just
teams
picked
of
the
all
last
time.
winner.
That's what he's historically
This
does.
wasn't
but
that,
this
but
year,
He picked the last winner.
well, my
After a
alternative
few
pick,
others.
South American loyalists.
Right.
he
This is like
picked
his
a winner from
sixth
the
team, I think. Something
It's my
like that.
second team, bro.
Second? Is it?
Brazil to Argentina.
It feels
No,
like
you were high
5 or
on
6.
Colombia for a while.
Right, I thought
You're like, I saw Colombia.
Morocco
Watch
was
out
the-
for Morocco.
you know, the
oh, what
Caxias
France not going to be
was my
able
dark
to
horse.
handle Morocco. They're not even interested in shooting the ball.
Croatia at one point.
Oh,
Raven.
Croatia.
Not
Shout
to win
shout
the
out to
tournament.
Zach Lowe. Keep an eye on Croatia.
Not to win. They got robbed by the heartbeat of the
That's
ball.
actually true.
And now we find out that heartbeat can't sense wires in the air. It's a pacemaker.
Can Spain upset France? Meanwhile, Big Poppy joins us to talk about the All-Star game and also the red-hot Red Sox, which
That's fine.
we like
Yeah,
watch.
they've won 9 in a row.
They are hot.
They are.
And they're
Royals
the
are
wild
in
card
last.
race out there.
The wild card
right
is a
there.
great invention.
Yeah, they're right.
Today at 3, Spain takes on France. Winner goes to the World Cup final. France has looked unstoppable, except when Paraguay was grabbing everybody, and somehow we got the yellow cards. But Spain has beaten them 5-4 in June, and Spain was up 5-1 after 67 minutes and maybe took their foot off the gas a little bit. Here's the tale of the tape in this World Cup. 16 goals for France, 11 for Spain. Only 2 goals allowed. 1 goal for Spain. I guess another way to look at that is France has allowed double the goals, if you want to say.
Yeah, 100% more.
100%
More than double the expected goals.
well, expected goals, which I don't know if I like as a
I'm
stat, but
surprised
as a
Spain's
show.
is that high.
Expected goals?
It's like 0.3 a game, Brew. It's not bad.
They played a lot
They
of goals.
played
They
6
a lot of
games. It's 0.3
Oh,
expected.
that's total. Okay.
Yeah, not per game. Yeah, that's in the tournament.
So, Dax, we've seen
There we go.
teams try to outlast France, get it to penalties, but can Spain win in a high-scoring matchup?
They can, absolutely. They won't, but they can. It's all down to Lamine Yamal and what kind of game he has. I like Oyarzabal. I think he's a very good striker. But if you want to break down how their attacking trio, Baena, Oyarzabal, and Lamine Yamal have played, Kylian Mbappe has 4 goals in this knockout stage in the 2026 World Cup. Those 3 attacking players for Spain combined have 2. So they aren't in the greatest form. And I also look back, I was doing a little bit of research on,
Nice.
You guys keep referencing these games and that Spain has won in the past against France in the Euros and in the Nations League. Totally fair. If you actually go back and look at the lineup from that France team that played in that 2025 Nations League, this is their
5-4 win.
This is the 5-4 win for Spain. France's starting back line, Theo Hernandez, Clement Lenglet, Ibrahima Kounate, and Pierre Kalulu. 2 of those players aren't even on this French World Cup team. Kounate is a center back. He's played 14 minutes in this tournament. And Theo Hernandez, left fullback. He started a few games in the group stage. He has no starts in the knockout stage.
Yeah, you allow 5 goals,
This
you lose
is
your job.
correct. Well, and the point is, to your point about defense wins championships and how great Spain has been, this is a totally revamped new French backline from those games. They have been excellent. They've conceded the same amount of goals as Spain in their last 5 in this tournament, in this World Cup, and they've actually conceded less goals than Spain in the knockout rounds. So I look at the balance of this French national team, specifically how much they trust their defenders and their center backs. Upamecano and Saliba are 2 of the best 1v1 defenders in world soccer, in world football. And so can they keep up with them in a high-scoring game? They could, in theory, absolutely. They have that quality. Will they? They won't. I just don't see any way where this game doesn't set up perfectly for the French team to expose them in transition. They'll be totally comfortable. Spain's going to dominate possession. I just believe that they have too much quality in the attack, and Spain isn't going to be able to score multiple goals.
Can I read you a quote that Yamal said and get your read on it?
Sure.
No one has gone toe-to-toe with us, but in the end, we got the win today. I forgot which game this was after. That's the most important thing. So going toe-to-toe, like, what do you think? What is he talking about exactly there?
I think he's talking about the opposition opening up more so in the attack. Spain dominates possession. That means they're constantly playing against a low block. Teams constantly sit 9, 10 players behind the ball. France will do that at times. You have to. That's how good Spain is in possession. But France, they won't mind sending 3, 4, 5 players forward into the attack. Spain is going to have to defend a little bit deeper than they have in this entire tournament. That's why it's a heavyweight fight. There's two teams that have distinct styles of play, and both teams think that they are the best team.
Right.
So when you get matchups like that, you get two teams that are going to open the game up eventually. And I do believe Spain's going to have chances. I just don't think they're going to be as efficient as France in the final third.
Right, and what he's talking about, France will go toe-to-toe, basically.
No question.
Right, so I think he's looking forward to this. Like we've said, I think he's going to have opportunities. Yeah, I think they can win a shootout because I don't think France is going to score a ton of goals against that midfield and that defense. So I think, like, you're right, it was 5-4. Maybe it was obviously different lineups. But France didn't score a lot until the end. And I don't even want to compare it to Paraguay and Morocco because they were just sitting back trying to defend. But I don't think France is going to score a ton of goals in this game because of that defense is so strong. So, like, I picked Spain 3-2. So I don't know if that's fair, a shootout or what, but yeah.
So
that would be a shootout.
I just think we have. I don't want to say we've done a poor job. I disagree with how we have framed this. The little line above France minus 150, Spain plus 120 is the equivalent for football fans of a team being a 2.5-point favorite. This idea that it's going like that Spain has, a very narrow path to win and has to play perfectly and France needs to make some mistakes is, I just think, simply not reflected by where they are in the FIFA World Rankings, how these teams have looked in this tournament thus far, where France's offense has been an A+ and Spain's defense has been an A+. What their paths leading to this to this spot are. One team is a very slight favorite over the other. And I think because France has done it with such style, France's superstar, like most marketable superstar, Mbappe, has had an awesome tournament. Spain's kind of only marketable, like in America star. I don't think a lot of American
100%.
folks know.
Sure.
Like Spain's got 3 of the best goalkeepers in the world are on Spain's roster. Like for 3 of the biggest clubs. Like they're, some of their guys aren't household names. Yamal is trying to become one in America, and he hasn't had a great tournament. Because of that, this is, to me, we are framing it as if it is a mismatch. I do not think that is the case.
Are we framing it like that? I don't feel like that. With respect to Spain, like, it would not surprise me at all if Spain wins this game. I want to be abundantly clear about that because I think that the numbers and the odds reflect how good both teams are, legitimately.
To your point, Spain, both teams have never trailed. So when I'm like, I just can't. I literally haven't seen France in any type of trouble. The biggest trouble they were in was the 1-0 win over Paraguay, where I think even when it was tied at 0-0, you're like, there's no chance France is going to lose this game. Sure. It's just a matter of getting through the muck.
And listen, it was 0-0 at halftime against Morocco. I was at that game. France dominated. France
had
13 shots to 1.
Yeah. Right.
No, so I agree with that. I agree with that point. It's just, but to your point, we haven't seen it. Spain has not trailed either.
It's true.
And so again, I'm almost playing a little devil's advocate, I guess, because I picked France before the tournament to make the final. I am picking them today. But I am, I don't know if you guys know, I'm known occasionally to put a few dollars on it.
Sure.
It is very rare that there is a huge event that I'm super excited to watch that I don't, put some type of bet on. And I'm not betting this one. Because I feel that I picked France, so in theory I'm rooting for France, but I'm that not unconfident, but unsure about it.
What are the chances this looks like the Morocco game for France, where it's like, poof, they're going to put a scare into France? Like, not really.
I think that's pretty low. Like, Spain is going to challenge France.
If France dominates this game,
I think France is going to dominate.
You think Spain will
that's what I was
dominate
getting
possession?
to.
I think Spain's going to dominate possession. And I think maybe, to your point, maybe the reason why it's looking so much like we think France is going to dominate and win. I mean, let's remember, Spain has required 2 really late goals from a substitute to get to this point. Mm-hmm. And so, like, those games could have easily gone to extra time.
No, they've scored in the 8th.
So they've scored like really last minute goals.
In the 88th minute and I think the 92nd minute.
So France's path, while maybe slightly less challenging, like it's been pretty academic. And then Spain, look, they've been pushed to the brink a little bit, so it's a really even game.
What's your score pick? Brew has 3-2 Spain.
Wild is the
I have
one that's
3-2.
I'm
kicking extra time.
I feel
Spain
like 2-0. I would feel nice. I feel like we get an early goal, and France hasn't lost. I think they've lost maybe one game when they don't score first.
When they score first.
When they score first, they maybe lost one. I think they get Mbappe gets an early goal, and that's like Spain's like, we've never trailed this tournament. We're finally down. Let's push a little bit more. Let's take a few more chances. Maybe give up our
France shutting Spain out would be very surprising.
And then it's boom.
Agreed. I think it's going to be 3-1, and I don't think
3-1.
3-1
France.
And I don't think we see an early goal. I think it's maybe either a late goal in the first half or in the second half the game opens up.
Wow. I like that. Mbappe, a win would punch his ticket.
That's kind of a route.
To his 3rd straight World Cup final. He's got 11 goals in his last 7 matches, 20 goals in 20 games in his World Cup career. Dax, what do you think a win in another finals appearance would mean for Kylian?
Most clutch player in World Cup history.
That's good.
And it's not even that particularly of a hot take, considering what he is able to do in these specific tournaments. He already, at 27 years old, leads all World Cup players in knockout round goals. I mean, if you're going to judge players based on performing in the most important games at the highest level, it quite literally doesn't get any bigger than the knockout round in the knockout stage in the World Cup. So, for context, Kylian Mbappe has scored 12 goals in 11 knockout round games. So, like, when we frame this in terms of like a goal-scoring machine like Erling Haaland, you have to absolutely give Mbappe credit. He's scoring more than a goal a game in the knockout rounds of the World Cup. We haven't seen that ever. For context, Lionel Messi, 7 goals in 13 games. The original Ronaldo, R9, 8 goals in 10 knockout round games. And Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest players of all time, only 1 goal in 10 knockout round games. Then you take it a step further, and Kylian Mbappe leads all players in terms of goals scored in the World Cup final with 4. So he steps up for France consistently in the biggest, most important, highest leverage moments. And
is that all players
in history?
All players in history. He's got the most goals in a World Cup final in history. So we have quite literally never seen a player at his age be so dominant in the most important tournament in the world, in the most important games. If they get back to another final and if they win it, he absolutely is and should be considered the most clutch player in the history of this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could argue he's the best World Cup performer ever if they do it.
Easy.
And now listen, it is very, and this is going to sound prisoner of the moment-y, but if we get France-Argentina in the final, you're going to be able to make that same argument for Messi. Messi has a golden ball, Mbappe doesn't. Messi would be if they get to the final, I think the favorite to win the golden ball again, even if they don't win the tournament. Mbappe has a golden boot, Messi doesn't. They're tied
both
for it this
kind
year.
of the top 2. At least a lot of people think they're the top 2 for the golden ball.
Yes,
not just the golden boot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think if you look at England, like a dark horse could be Jude Bellingham.
Right,
honestly, if they get to a final.
Right, but Kane. Some people would argue Kane
sure,
there.
They
so
kind of take votes away from each other.
And so here is. As a teenager, he knocked Messi and Argentina out of the tournament, scoring 2 goals in that game in his first ever career knockout round game. He then, to your point, scored in the final. As the superstar he was last World Cup, not last year, 4 years ago, last World Cup. Thank you, KW. He obviously had a hat trick in a loss, but he clawed them back into the game, and he was one of the few French players that made his penalty kick in penalties. Correct. Doesn't count towards the hat trick, but he made his penalty kick in penalties. And in this tournament, he's either been the best second or third best player in the entire tournament, all up to the tournament up to this point. So then you add, if we go through these graphics quick, Dust, France with him in this tournament has lost one time. It was the World Cup final. They lost in penalty kicks. They outscore their opponents by 30. He's a huge, he has 20 of those. Another way to look at it. In World Cup games that he has started, he has scored 20, and France's opposition has scored 15. That's pretty solid. Go to the next one. Oh, yeah. Career World Cup, the best performers, in my opinion. Mbappe, 20 goals, has been to 2 finals, won 1. Messi, 21 goals, has been to 2 finals, has won 1. Again, they could change that. Yeah. Pele, 12 goals, 3 titles, but one of those, a little mini asterisk, his middle title, he got injured early in the tournament, didn't play. Zidane, not same type of player, so the goal numbers are going to be lower, but he also went to 2 finals, won 1. Ronaldo, he gets credit again, the titles. In 94, he didn't play. So if you remove that, it's 1 title plus he lost in a final. Yep. All those guys, it's stunning. It's like, hey, go to a couple finals, win one of them. Pele's the only guy who played in 2 victories of this list. If he makes a 3rd and France joins this list, Brew, which is pretty rarefied air, West Germany, which you thought was bad of me calling last World Cup last year. On my entire podcast yesterday, I called West Germany West Virginia repeatedly. When discussing
West Virginia?
I just kept saying West Virginia went to 3 straight World Cup finals, and eventually somebody had one of my producers in my ears like, bro, you keep saying West Virginia. I was like, Kevin Pittsnoggle wasn't in the World Cup final? And so so that, Brew, I just think you can it's mixing metaphors. You can make the argument, you probably can't anymore. Once upon a time, you could make the argument, even if you didn't think Joe Montana was the greatest quarterback ever. He was the greatest Super Bowl quarterback ever. Brady, I think, has outstripped everybody on all that stuff. But there is, sometimes guys are.
No, you can still make that argument.
Right, but not necessarily the GOAT in their sport, but they are the GOAT in the biggest event in their sport. And I think, I think that's something Mbappe is.
Look, just individually what he's done, you can, like you said, make the argument that he's already the GOAT of the World Cup.
Yep.
But I think, Dax, I said earlier, just getting to the final, I don't think, it's great. It's something for sure. Mm-hmm. But I think he has to win it. Sure. I actually think him winning the Golden Boot, so that would mean he'd have to play great again, maybe 3 goals against Spain, whatever, but they lose. Yeah. And not getting to the final could help him more individually than getting to another final but losing. Now, if they get there and win, obviously it's different. Sure. But he would be the only player with 2 Golden Boots, and he'd still have his one championship.
If that happens, you're not looking at Mbappe being like, well, he could have done more.
No. Right, exactly. I just think getting there but losing, does that affect it either way, you think, on him?
Yeah, I think that you can't sit there and be like, he made it to the final, so it's going to contribute to his legacy. Like, I don't look at that.
He also might make the World Cup's goal record untouchable.
Agreed.
Counting down to Spain-France, 3 hours, 37 minutes. Spain's only allowed 1 goal. Are we going to see a big game from this guy, Yamal? We'll find out in Dallas.
Down on Yamal.
I'm pro Yamal.
Yamal, like
he was on. He was on.
Like he's some role player.
I was doing it for the podcast audience. 8 hours, 33 minutes, 20 seconds. Freddie Freeman, one of 6 Dodgers in the All-Star game, coming to you live from Philadelphia.
Speaking of the All-Star game, you don't hear so much about it anymore. Cal Raleigh.
He had a huge slump, but then he had a big comeback.
He's hitting 169. He's hitting 169. He's got 9 bombs. He's played 65 games. Classic won by me.
Definitely disappointing.
What was your classic one?
His World Baseball Classic. I won't shake your hand, even though we're teammates. Was gonna jinx his season.
Well, he got benched in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, none of it's been.
David Ortiz coming up right after we talk a little bit of NFL. Jeremy Fowler's yearly article surveying coaches, executives, and scouts has dropped, and Josh Allen has dethroned Patrick Mahomes. One GM noting that Josh is unstoppable at his peak, with Fowler adding he's the only player in NFL history with 200 passing and 50 rushing touchdowns. Here's the full list. Allen, Mahomes, Stafford, Burrow, Lamar, Dak, Herbert, Drake May, again, We're just going to focus on Allen and Mahomes right now.
Yes. Well,
Goff
this is going to be a bunch of our content the rest of the
We can just keep this up until September. Mahomes coming in at 2 despite being number 1 for 3 straight years.
Yep.
Are you okay with Josh Allen dethroning Patrick Mahomes as the number 1 quarterback in the league in this list?
Listen, I'm fine with it, but my reaction to Josh Allen being number 1 is we really desperately need Patrick Mahomes to be healthy and statistically great again.
That's true.
Because we are supposed to be in one of the golden ages of quarterback play.
Right.
And having the best quarterback in the league be someone with as thin a postseason resume as Josh doesn't sit right with where we should be talent-wise as far as who the best quarterbacks are historically. And I think that is buttressed by the fact that Josh jumped up after a year where he didn't win his division. Statistically, he threw for 3,600 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 picks. Like, all those are fine. You know, that's a totally fine, solid, on the Football Reference page year. And it ended in catastrophe for him in the playoffs with a 4-turnover playoff game against a second-year quarterback. Granted, on the road, I understand that. And I think one of my biggest annoyances, if you will, about the way Josh Allen is discussed is I believe his postseason resume is greatly overstated. So before we show it, I just would like to point out 2 things. In his last 2 postseason defeats, he has fumbled the ball 6 times. In the 2 times in his career, he has won a playoff game after the wild card round. In those 2 games combined, he has 330 yards passing and an 86 passer rating with 1 passing touchdown.
Let's stay here for a second.
And this is...
Now, those are not fumbles lost.
Those
are just fumbles
those are fumbles.
Total.
So this is what I was trying to wait to get to, but we'll do it right now. Josh Allen is the greatest wild card round quarterback of all time. Now, part of that is the rules have changed. So, like, you know, you used to not play the wild card round if you were the 2 seed. Now you have to be the 1 seed. He's never had the bye, so every year he's made the playoffs, he's made the wild card round. After the wild card round, he has 1 great game on his resume. 1. The 13-second game against the Chiefs. That's it. It's a 2-6 record. It's home playoff defeats. It's some grisly performances. It's, as I mentioned, the 2 wins, he threw for a total of 330 yards, had a passer rating in each game of 86, and 1 passing touchdown. So when you see Josh's overall playoff numbers, they look unbelievable. And last year was again the case where he was unbelievable in the first round, and then in the second round, left something really to be desired with the 4 turnovers. With that said, I can't sit here coming off the year Patrick had him blowing out his knee and pound the table and say he's got to be number 1. Stafford, I think, has his age used against him in this conversation. Burrow doesn't have a case right now. Lamar doesn't have a case. So I get the ranking. I just think he is... You know, there's a little more nits to pick than I think other people feel.
Very different type of player, but I feel like his stature versus achievements kind of similar to a Dan Marino. Marino still got to a Super Bowl but didn't win one, and is just renowned for his great individual ability more through the air. And Josh is like that as well. Like, everybody's in awe of his ability, the passing and the running and the size, but he hasn't, done it in the postseason either. But I'm fine with this being number 1. Now, I think Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. If I had to start a team, I would pick Mahomes. But I'm fine with this as well because Patrick is coming off 3, individually speaking, 3 mediocre seasons.
Yes, sure.
2 of them obviously got to the Super Bowl, but he's coming off 3. And then last year, you got the injury, you got the 6-8 record, and then missing the playoffs. So I'm fine with that. I understand it. But I think there could have been a case for Stafford more so than
I think Stafford.
Allen.
I think it's hard to argue against Stafford.
So you would have put Stafford.
I mean, I just feel like he's the MVP. He's statistically dominant. Josh Allen will get into some runs, and I mentioned that quote, where he looks like the best player on earth.
Oh, yeah.
He'll have, like, games, and you're like, oh, this guy's literally going to win the game by himself. Question for you about Patrick Mahomes. 2 questions.
Oh, more before. I sadly was. Did you hear the latest reporting? Credit where it's due. Got to credit journalism from one Patrick McAfee.
Oh no, I have not heard this.
He was dancing
about Patrick Mahomes at the dance floor at Travis Kelce's wedding.
No, this counts as NFL news.
Cutting it up in the middle of the dance floor.
Oh, cutting it up.
As I was the first to report 4 months before it happened.
Wow.
So check that off the box.
Okay.
Now go ahead if you're going to ask me a Patrick Mahomes question.
2 questions. I'm going to look ahead to this whole year. Do you think the Chiefs win more games than the Bills?
Yes.
Do you think Patrick Mahomes has a better statistical season than Josh Allen?
Therefore, I don't think so. I don't think he'll have a better statistical season.
You
don't think he jumps up?
No, I do. I think he will. I think he'll have a better statistical season than he has had individually the last couple of years. But I think that Josh is going to have a better statistical season, him individually, than he had last year. Than Josh. Josh will have a better statistical season this year than Josh had last year.
You think they'll open it up more again?
Well, and I think I think he is going to still be this year the most dynamic, dominant running quarterback. And I think Patrick, in all likelihood, will run less than he's ever run in his entire career. Yeah. And I think the Chiefs will run the ball as a team more than they have in any year of Patrick's career, so they finally have invested in the running back position. I have always found some of the Josh Allen discourse just almost interesting because, again, I think he's a great player. I think it's probably almost fair, almost undeniable, more harsh in my criticism of Lamar than Josh. Yeah. Like, I think that's probably the record reflects it. I just have never... and maybe Marino's the right example, Brew, and I just wasn't, really,
different styles.
But I also don't really know how Marino was discussed in the 80s because I either wasn't born or I wasn't, I was a baby. It's very rare that for this position, they are judged exclusively by their highs. Quarterback is not that, he's almost judged like a baseball slugger.
That's this whole list.
Like
though.
the what do you mean?
Caleb is 10. Sam Darnold won the Super Bowl. Justin Herbert's never won a playoff game. He's 7. Burrow went to Burrow.
But there is more. But I guess
games.
Maybe that's the case on this
4.
list, Brew or KW. But the point I'm making is in the general overall there's big debate about where Herbert should be, where Caleb should be amongst the football intelligentsia, if you will. There is no debate that Josh Allen's either the best or second best quarterback in football. Like everybody, that's just like a given, and he's just the only quarterback of my adult life that is seemingly the discussion is only about the heights.
Yeah. So he did lose the playoff game by trying to run 70 yards and fumble the ball and allow Denver to kick
and by the way, and then threw a pick in overtime.
Yeah.
Like you had a 4-turnover playoff game that ended up ultimately getting your coach fired.
Yep.
After a year that statistically you weren't great and you didn't win the division for the first time since you've been there and you moved up. Like that is unique to me.
People are just awed by his physical ability.
You did a good job there.
I'm just saying
That's a good case for Drake May he just made. Who will be the MVP of the All-Star game, a.k.a. my dog, when David Ortiz joins us right after the break? But first, here's David Ortiz with a cowboyed-up Zlatan.
I'm the king of the jungle right here. Who's the king of the jungle over there? Mbappe or Messi? What you got?
I have Zlatan. What do you mean? I'm on the first place. They're the second and the third one. So if you're king of the jungle, I'm the king of the jungle in football. And he has been outstanding, this Zlatan. His performance has been amazing.
What about Messi? What about Messi?
Messi is Messi. Messi, we cannot judge. We cannot say nothing because he's above. He's in a different level. So let's see semifinals. They might pass me, but not yet.
Welcome back to First Things First. Mbappe in France getting ready for Spain. 3 hours, 18 minutes, and 37 seconds from Dallas. That is coming up. And then after that, we are getting ready for the All-Star game tonight from Philadelphia. Right now joining us, Hall of Famer and MLB analyst for Fox, David Ortiz. Poppy, welcome back to the show. Also, Red Sox are back. I can't believe it. We were left for dead. We were done. Boy, 9 games in a row. Now we're right there in the wild card. Poppy, can you believe it?
Hey, let me tell you. Same thing happened last year. When they count us out, the guy just bounced back and won 10 games in a row. And then all of a sudden, we were in the playoffs. So it would not surprise me how they handle the business second half of the season.
Poppy, just one quick question before we get to the All-Star game. Do you think trade deadline coming up, do you think the Red Sox are going to try to go out and get a bat?
We have to.
Love it.
We have to. I mean, this 9 game out of 10 before the All-Star break, it's a good sign, you know, and I'm pretty sure the front office looking around the first half and thinking about what we need for the second half, they got to go and chase something out there.
Well, look, and in all seriousness, yeah. I'm happy for you.
Well, thank you.
Because 2026 been tough on Boston sports.
Really went to the Super Bowl.
Down in the Super Bowl.
Went to the Super Bowl.
Blow a 3-1 lead, then have to blow up the Celtics like this. You need Boston sports fans. You guys need it, so I'm happy for you guys. My team, by the way.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And by the way, those 2 decades that when I play Bruins, Celtics, Patriots, Red Sox, we got those Boston fan base used to win.
Yeah.
So the upcoming player from every single organization, they have a heart though. They have a heart. Already.
What do you think? They adjusted some of the rules for last night's Derby. I know going into it, so there were some skeptics about whether or not it would work. It ended up, I think, being a huge success. What do you think of last night's Derby?
I think it was great. But you know what, though? Fans kind of got used to seeing more swing. I haven't seen the feedback from the fans if they like the many swing that they saw or they were expecting more. I haven't really seen the feedback. But last night was great. I think it was good. The end was very emotional. You know, when I saw Walker mom, grandma talking, and I mean, I almost teared out because family to me is a very important thing, and just seeing his whole family. I mean, the Summer Classic is a family thing, you know. And when you see the story behind the family from this young kid, we happened on the set last night, and I basically told him that his career remind me my really good friend Tony Horner. You know, the way he made that adjustment to get to the big league and the way he's reaching out for his success this year compared to last year, I mean, it's something that is fun to watch.
Poppy, who's your early prediction to win your My Dog shirt tonight?
Great question.
I got to tell you, man, we are in Philly, and you have a guy like Bryce Harper, Schwarber, on the lineup. I'm pretty sure this guy's going to come through for those fans. So I would not be surprised if one of those 2 guys end up winning the MVP tonight. They're going to do it for home, guys. When you're playing at home, I mean, when I used to be at home, it was my house, you know, and I'm pretty sure these 2 guys, man, they are extremely dangerous. They getting it done. I told Bryce Harper last night, I asked him, hey, what is your motivation this year? You look like a different dog there tonight. I mean, this year. I mean, I remember watching you when you were 16 hitting bomb in Tampa, and I saw a kid that was fearless, and that's the guy that I'm seeing this year. And he said, "Hey, the baseball classic gonna put me in the mood. You know, the baseball classic just got that beast out of me." And when you look at Harper, when you look at Carl, what they're doing, man, it's fun to watch.
Poppy, what's your take on Jacob Misiorowski and the velocity that we've seen this year. He had a game where he threw 47 pitches at 101 miles per hour or higher. And it felt like, at least when I was growing up, if every once in a while somebody we threw 95, you're like, oh my goodness. And then a guy would hit 100 every once in a while. Now you're seeing 100 miles an hour throughout the whole game. What do you think that it's done to baseball, and how would you do against that type of speed?
I tell you what, man, I told him yesterday, he's so fun to watch. He's so much fun to watch. I think the game nowadays is in great hands. We got so much talent in the game. This kid, man, at an early age, they have figured it out, and they know how to execute it. I mean, I told him last night, hey, man, you are filthy. But don't come into Papi kitchen, man. You come at home and one head is going. Hey, you need to have permission to come into Papi kitchen, you know. Come on, guys.
Can you explain to the audience, this maybe sounds silly to you. I think the audience will get what I'm saying. It's hard for me to conceptualize how much benefit the pitcher gets from the difference between 99 and 103. Like, either way, it feels like you have to almost start swinging before it comes out of his hands. Like, as a batter, how much harder is that extra couple percentage points that KW is talking about?
In a serious note, hitting 101, I mean, if the game is at 7 p.m., you need to start swinging at 7 a.m. so you can get to it. And let's not even go to the location. I mean, when, like, he liked to throw, Jacob liked to throw the high cheese. That's hard to hit, like the last pitch right there. It's hard to get to that pitch when it's past 97 miles an hour. So those 4 miles different, 3 miles different, it's a huge difference, believe it or not. From 99 to 101, those 3 miles, it's hard to catch up him. That's why he's throwing that fastball by everybody.
Yeah.
He elevated that fastball. He dropped that split kind of that he has. Man, I'm telling you, when you are at the plate, it's tough.
You mentioned family earlier, the All-Star Game being a family affair, an event. Your son, D'Angelo, in the Red Sox organization, hit his first homer for Salem last month. We expect to see him playing in this game one day, Papi?
Let me tell you, D'Angelo is the type of kid that he loves the game. I don't have to say much to him. We discuss mechanic, we discuss game situation, but I don't have to push him. Like, this guy lives for this. He loves the game. Like, D'Angelo is 20. He just turned 22 5-6 days ago. And the guy don't even have a girlfriend. His girlfriend is baseball. You know? Like, this dude is just so into the game, and he works extremely hard. And I'm very proud of him because all he want to do is just progress. He just want to learn and you know, understand how important is everything that is going on around him. He's a good leader. He's a guy that his teammates love him, his coaches love him. The Red Sox all the time, they you know, pass information to me about how hard the kid loves working and his work ethic. You know, he's a good kid to be around, and like I say, as a father, those are the things that you want to hear.
If I was David Ortiz and my son was in the minor leagues and I tried to give him advice, he would not listen to me. He would not.
Hey, they all do. They listen to the neighbor.
He'd be like, thanks, Dad. It's 101 now.
I have to have Bull and all those guys talking to him sometimes.
Who's your prediction tonight, AL or NL, Papi?
Well, I think the American League has it tough. Because when you talk about Jacob, when you could talk about Christopher Sanchez, they have a whole bunch of stud pitching tonight. So we'll see how they come out. And then you have the guys from Philly who they're going to try to put a good show for the fans, you know. Bryce, Carr, you know, those guys going to try to do some damage tonight. So I think I have the National League on the book tonight.
Wow, National League. All right. Coverage starts 6:30 with the guys at the desk. First pitch at 8. Poppy, you know you're our dog. We're your dogs. We appreciate it.
I love you guys, man. You guys are the greatest.
You're the best. Thank you, Poppy.
Thanks, Poppy.
My dog.
There we go. We got it. 8 hours, 8 minutes, and 24 seconds. An all-star game on Fox from Philadelphia. And don't forget, we got France and Spain coming up this afternoon from Dallas.
Turn Fox on at 3 o'clock and just fall asleep to it.
What the fuck?
Oh, yeah, like 10 hours later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, just leave it there.
Talking about my commentary.